Hey, what's going on, guys? With 2025 coming to a close, it's that time of the year again where we're going to be counting down the best Gunpla of the year. And this year was a little bit interesting in that putting together this list, I was going through it, and we didn't have a ton of variety in Gunpla coming out this year. So basically, if it was a Gundam kit that came out in 2025, the chances are it's going to be on the list because we didn't have a whole lot more than the 10 that I've got it narrowed down to here. And it's kind of been the way that it's been going over the past few years. You know, I've been trying to make these videos every year for a while now. And, you know, it used to be you have to narrow it down from multiple MGs, multiple RGs, multiple different lines of HG that are coming out, you know, full mechanics, RE100. So there was a lot more variety and it was kind of a bit more challenging in years past to actually narrow it down to 10. There was not that much Gunpla that came out this year, you know, compared to years past. So let's get right into it here, starting off with, we're going to go in order too from the beginning of the year. So these are not in any other particular order other than just the release date. So in January, we saw the release of the HG G-Quax, kicking off that line of HG G-Quax releases from the series. And so, of course, it did kind of set the standard very high. This one is one that I feel like there's a little bit of pros and cons with this one, just because I think objectively as a model kit, it is really nice, you know, very detailed. I think it does come with a lot of stuff in there too, with the different accessories that you have. So it's really nice in a lot of ways. On the other hand, I do have to say that just personally one thing that I don't really like about the G-Quax, and this goes for a lot of other kits in that series as well, is that if it's a kit that you want to make it look like actually anime accurate, they just take a lot of work because of the painting and masking, like very detailed painting that is included with these, just because of all the small little color apps and stuff, which is just a part of the design. So if that's something that you want to actually recreate, it's very difficult to do so. So on the one hand, the kits are challenging, but on the other hand, I mean, the kits are just objectively really, really nice and really nicely designed. I think designed in a way that they're really detailed, but they go together rather simply. So while the G-Quax is the first of the series on the list here, there are going to be a few more. But then in March, we saw the release of the HGUC Psycho Gundam Mark II. Now this one is one that's not going to be for everyone just because of the size for the most part. This came out for 10,000 yen, so it's going to be around $100, over $100 in most cases probably. So yeah, for that size and for that price point, it's not going to appeal to everyone, but I think it's such a huge improvement over, of course, the Psycho Gundam, the original HGUC kit that came out, you know, a long time ago. That's a very early one in the line. So of course you would expect a lot of improvements here, but with this one in particular, the range of articulation, the color separation on this was really, really good, just for it being a large kit with a good amount of parts in it. And it did come with some nice accessories. I mean, basically just a lot of beam effect parts, but then you did have the parts to make the damaged head, which was nice, which could have very easily been just a Bandai add-on accessory kind of thing. But it was nice that that was actually included with the set. So I really enjoyed that one. Also in March, we had one of our very few MGs for this year was the Gundam Vidar. This one is a great kit. It's very highly based on the Gundam Barbatos, which in years past, I may not have included a kit like this on the top 10 just because it is, you know, highly derivative of a kit that we already had, but just for lack of better options. And because the Vidar did include a number of pieces that did definitely improve on the MG Barbatos kit, which didn't have a whole lot of space for improvement. I mean, the MG Barbatos is fantastic. The Gundam Vidar, I would say, is even better just because of some really cool added gimmicks, added accessories and stuff that includes with that, and it's just a really good looking mold of the Gundams, so I was very happy, very impressed with the MG Vidar. Really cool kit. Moving on next to the April release of the HG Police Zaku. So this is the first of a couple of different Zakus out in this line, and so just kind of representative of the G-Quax version of the Zaku generally here, but the Police Zaku was really cool in that it was like, we've never seen a police version of the Zaku, so like for example later on we had just kind of like the standard green Zaku, which is cool, but the Police Zaku in particular introduced something like a very interesting new element to the Zaku design, with this one, you know, obviously having a different Zaku design generally, but then having it being a police Zaku is certainly something very unique. So it was really cool. It had like the little lights up on the shoulders and of course the different coloration to this. So a really cool design, but again, it just kind of has a little bit of the same thing like with the G-Quax that I mentioned. These designs are great in how detailed they are and the articulation range and everything else about them, but they are going to require a good amount of work, especially if you're wanting to recreate like the lettering on the shield, for example. On this one was particularly challenging. There's a number of different ways to go about it, but moving on then to May, we saw the release of the first of two HG Gelgoog kits from the line as well. Sugai's Gelgoog, you could go for either one as they're basically just a color swap. Either one of the Gelgoogs from the HG G-Quax series are really nice as well. This one, again, this is probably my favorite of the lines so far, either this or the Zaku. I really like both of those. Just the grunt designs are a little bit less busy in just the overall design of them, and I like that. And this one again had some unique accessories, kind of unique twists twist on it being sort of like looking a bit more like a Jim than a Gelgoog, right? But then having the similar like looking beam spray gun, but now you have two of them. You have the wire weapon from the hand. So there was some interesting twists on like the kind of melding of the two designs there for this, and so I really liked that. And again, really nice detail, nice color separation. You know, there's still a lot of little color reps that are going to be missing from the final kit if you're not painting it, but a really fun kit nonetheless. Up next, we got the RG Shining Gundam that came out in June, one of two RGs that we got this year, both of which were fantastic. Personally, I do prefer the Wing Gundam Zero, which we got out later on, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute, but the Shining Gundam was really, really nice, especially if you're a G Gundam fan. Fantastic, definitely the best version of the Shining Gundam that we've got so far. With the God Gundam, you know, you got a few different options for that, a few different really nice options, so we kind of knew what to expect with this one, but it did even surprise me that for a Shining Gundam, you know, as sort of simple as the design is, the kit still did really impress me a lot. Really nice range of articulation, as you would hope for a kit like that, and all the gimmicks and everything is really nicely recreated here for the kit as well. The armor opening gimmicks and stuff, all the bits that open up on the face and everything, really tiny parts in there, but it just works really well. Up next, then, between our two RG releases, we did also have the MGSD release of the Gundam Ariel coming out in August for 3,900 yen. So the MGSD line, as I've said many times, has been a line that I've just really enjoyed so far. The line has been absolutely fantastic. All the kits out in the line have definitely been like top tier Gunpla for me, and so the Ariel is no different. This one was also really nice for including different color parts, whether you wanted the red plated or the blue plated parts underneath the clear parts on there. And then for its loadout of accessories, the beam rifle was pretty standard and even reused the same beam effect part as the HG, which was kind of interesting. But for the shield in particular and for the gun bits, those were really interestingly designed and how they made those fit together and everything. So that combined with everything else that's great about the MGSD line generally, of course, this one is one that I would definitely recommend for you guys. If you've still not yet tried the MGSD line, please check it out. Any one of the releases you kind of can't go wrong with, so definitely check those out. But then in September, we saw another RG release here with the Wing Gundam Zero. This one was fantastic. I think one of the best RGs that we've got out so far, among a line that, you know, had a rocky start, and a lot of people really dislike a lot of the early RGs, but definitely if you're talking about like more modern, like the past 5-6 years worth of RGs, I mean, the line has just become so good, and this is a really good example of that. Everything great about the RG line, really cool gimmicks, really nice design on this one. The kit looks absolutely fantastic straight out of the box, as that's one of the main features of the RG line. They're supposed to look really good just right out of the box with amazing color separation, details, and you know, range of articulation, everything. So they look great, and the RG Wing Gundam Zero is one that I would say, among the many different versions of the Wing Gundam that we have out in the RG line, this one is definitely the best so far. And then for these last two, I'm going to include are two that I've not yet actually built because they're very recent releases. So number one being the MG Gundam Barbatos Lupus. I've not yet built this, but you know, based on everything that we know about the Gundam Barbatos and then the Vidar, and then going to this one, I can expect that it's going to be another very fantastic MG. I do really like the design, and the Lupus is not a design that was one of my favorites earlier on, especially in like the HG line. I didn't like the Lupus all that much, but I do really like the look of the MG. They've kind of changed the proportions and the details a bit on this, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm really looking forward to building it for myself. I think we should be getting it in here at USA Gundam Store pretty soon, hopefully, and then I'll be able to get a chance to build that, and I will, of course, live stream that and share that with you guys in a review and everything. And then the last one here for the list, coming in at number 10, this one, I believe, just recently came out in Japan, and so, of course, we've not gotten it here in the US yet, but the HG Gundam Zagan came out right in December at the end of the year, and this is another one that looks really good based on everything that I've seen about it so far. It's one that I think, you know, among a very limited list of Gunpla for 2025, it's safe to say that I think this one belongs in the top 10. That said, maybe when I get the kit and build it myself, I might have to come back and maybe put a little comment in my own video to say, well, maybe I'm going to remove that one off the list, but I think at this point it's safe to include this in the top 10. Like I said, we didn't have a whole lot that came out this year, but I do want to then just wrap up the video by giving a special shout out to, of course, Premium Bandai, because we had a lot of really good Premium Bandai releases this year, and so just to give a special shout out to some of these, because it's just really a shame that these were not standard releases, with a lot of these that I'm gonna list out for you here. I think all of them basically being kits that are not redesigns of other kits. They're completely new, completely original molds for these. Like the HGD Gundam First was amazing, super cool design, super unique. That one was a lot of fun. HD Rebben Wolf is one that I've got here on the shelf. I'm not yet built it, but again, based on everything that I've seen about that. It looks so nice. Really can't wait to build that one. The HG Gundam Zirius. This one was super cool, really unique for this as well from the new Gundam 8 manga. Really enjoyed the gimmicks and the design for that. That one really impressed me a lot. The HG Gundam Nyan is another one. So like these HG P Bandai releases have just been really, really amazing. There's another one that again, I've not yet built, but everything that I've seen about it just looks really cool. HG Graham's Union Flag Custom 2. This one making basically like a redesign of the HG Union Flag kit and seeing a lot of improvements with that one as well. The RE100 Denange, the RE100 line, apparently not dead, as we are every couple of years we're getting a P Bandai release from the line, so it's not like dead yet. Hopefully we'll see a revive of the RE100 line in the 2026, maybe like at least one release, like a standard release would be awesome. I would love to see it. And then coming in right towards the end of the year, we also saw the continuation of the premium Bandai HG G Gundam releases with the Mandala Gundam coming out before the Bolt Gundam, which is interesting. But this one also, as I've talked about a couple times, just kind of makes me think maybe a Tequila Gundam HG kit is not impossible, which before I would have said it's definitely not going to happen. But the Mandala Gundam or the Mandor Gundam, whichever you want to call it, with this one being released, it does kind of make me wonder where else they might go in terms of the HG G Gundam series. I was expecting them to do the Bolt at this point and then probably just be done with it, but with them doing this one, I don't know what else we might see. I'm expecting like maybe a Nero Gundam, possibly a Zeus Gundam would be really cool, and then if they go to any more of the more obscure ones like the Tequila Gundam, the Mermaid Gundam, something like that, I don't know, it could be interesting, so I'm here for it. But yeah, there was a lot of really great HG kits that came out that were just unfortunately behind the P Bandai paywall. But last thing that I'll leave you with, guys, is that I think one thing that we saw this year too was that we saw a dramatic increase in not only the number of third-party releases, but the quality of third-party releases too, where it's gotten to a point that like all this stuff that we're getting from Bandai is great, but then we're also getting a lot of really great competition from these third-party companies that are not only making like these really big kits now, but even you got like SNA, for example, it's making like these smaller kits too that compete really well against like Bandai's like real grade type of releases and things like that too. So that said, Bandai has also been releasing a lot of really cool stuff non-Gunpla, like in the 30 Minutes label, for example. The 30 Minutes Fantasy line is something that they had a lot come out this year for that. Also, the 30 Minutes Missions Armor Core series kits are really nice. So Bandai is, very diversified in their releases. We get a lot of really nice, diverse stuff from them generally in terms of their model kit releases. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get released in 2026. We already kind of know, at least for like the first third or first half of the year almost, basically where all the Gunpla releases are going to be. But there could be some more surprises in there. Obviously, the PG new Gundam Unleashed is going to be the big one coming out at the beginning of the year in 2026. And then after that, I don't know, I'm hoping for some interesting surprises. I may do a separate video on kind of what are some predictions for the year. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys would like to see, or if you have any predictions, let me know. And then maybe kind of I'll be able to consider some of your guys' predictions along with some of my own, and then maybe put that into a video for next week or the week after or something like that, beginning of January, kind of what I'm predicting for the rest of the year. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. But again, as always, guys, if you want to check out some of the kits that I've mentioned in this video, you can check out the link to USA Gundam Store. It's down there below the video as always. And thank you guys so much for all your support all throughout the year. For all of you out there that are continuing to watch and continuing to enjoy the content, I really appreciate it so much. Thank you guys all so much. And a special thank you, of course, to everybody there that's a Patreon supporter as well. Thank you guys all so much for all of your support. It really means a lot. So I'm looking forward to going into 2026 with a lot of different projects and goals in mind for this year. And maybe I'll talk some more about that in a different video later on. But I think it's going to be a really fun year. So I'm looking forward to it. But all right, guys, that's a wrap on 2025. I'll see you in 2026. Later.